Hello, sales shakers and valuepreneurs. That's right. You're in the right channel, Sales TV, still keeping you company and giving you insight. I'm delighted to be your host today. My name is Helga Saraiva Stewart. I'm missing Andy and Alex terribly already, but I'm joined by three really wonderful guests. I couldn't be happier to have Kylie Watson in the house today. She's head of sales and delivery for APAC and Australia, New Zealand for DXC Technology, joining us from Australia. And I've got two amazing students, both in secondary school here in Cascais, Portugal. Shout out to your colleagues, to your family, and to your friends. Let's dive right in. Kylie, tell us a little bit about you, please.
Hi, Helga, and thank you for the introduction. You're right. I work for the company DXC Technologies. It's a global company. I look after the APJ MEA region. Essentially, I'm in over 20 countries for the particular region I look after, and I look after pre-sales, sales, and delivery. And I came up through the ranks from delivery. My career is about 30 years, and about 15 years ago, I started going from delivery to pre-sales and sales.
Sounds awesome. Are you ready to get the questions from Estêvão and Rodrigo? Are you ready?
Absolutely.
I'm not sure if I'm ready.
Let's go for it. Let's see what they've got to throw at us.
Estêvão is a really dynamic student, already loving innovation, sales, and business development. He's effortlessly blending creativity and strategy to pave his way to success. Rodrigo, he began selling door-to-door to local businesses, and then he moved into helping companies get more customers by improving the sales strategy using AI to automate emails. I can feel a question coming about this, Rodrigo, already. Before we move on, I wanted to just explain to you, we've got a bit of a different format today for our show. We're going to have Kylie and I are going to be challenged with 3 questions from our students. We're going to have 1 minute each to answer those questions. So get ready, Kylie. And then we're going to turn it around and we're going to hit our students, Rodrigo and Estêvão, with some questions of our own. We're going to have 2 questions for you. Before we move on, I just wanted to talk about today's show. We are going to be talking about selling the destination and not the bridge. Is today's topic of our conversation. So get ready. It's going to be an exciting conversation ahead. We've got 20 or so minutes of understanding how it is that we can power up sales conversations and keep our customers engaged, as well as making cold contacts that attract our prospects, our leads' attention in a way that makes them want to talk with us. So, Estêvão, you want to get started off with your first question, please?
Yeah, of course. So my first question for either of you would be, what are the key strategies or techniques you found the most effective in building strong client relationships and closing deals?
Kylie, I'm going to set the timer. You can get started, okay?
Yeah, look, I think I follow a mandate of trust, right? So I want to make sure that I've sold something that actually meets a requirement that they have, a pain point that they have. And I like to map it back to a scenario. If I walk into a cafe or a restaurant, right, socially, I want them to see me and go, Kylie, fantastic. That was great. You did all these things for me. I need you to come and do more. I don't want them going, oh, there's Kylie. Oh, yeah, she sold me something. It didn't work. Didn't really like that. And they kind of, side eye you or just do a quick nod or, hello, just to acknowledge you. So I try to have a philosophy where the clients absolutely trust me. They trust the conversations I'm having with them. I call it client conversations because I'm not there to sell them something, a widget or a product. I'm there to solve a problem for them. And it's usually a gnarly, wicked problem that they can't solve themselves, particularly in cybersecurity.
Perfect. Man, okay.
And
nice.
You did it in under a minute. Here we go. My minute starts now. So Strategies for effectively building strong customer relationships. I'm a fierce advocate of value selling and being culture-centric. Being culture-centric is not at the salesperson level. It's a tone from the top. The leadership needs to build an organization and a commercial engine completely geared to the customer. And that means that the company understands how to position the value that they deliver to their ideal clients in a way that's different from everybody else. So that actually means quite a lot of different things. But another aspect for me to this strategy associated with these strategies and tactics is actually understanding very well how to hard qualify and soft qualify, understanding that discovery is where the magic happens. Oh my God.
Well done.
Okay,
you just scraped that one in.
I'm trailing behind, Kylie. I'm trailing behind. Right. Okay.
Love it and agree.
Yeah. Rodrigo, hit us with another one. Hit us with your question, please.
Can I go next?
Please.
Okay, so if you are on a cold call situation with an assistant, how do you get to the decision maker?
Ooh.
Okay, Helga, do you want to take that one? So we'll switch around
Right, okay.
and then I'll take it next.
Here we go. So assistants in a cold calling situation, I like to think of the assistant or the personal assistant or whoever picks up the phone as the decision maker. Just to complement Estêvão's questions earlier, when you are contacting that person, you really have to understand what is the value of that person talking with you. So you're selling the meeting, right? When you're selling the meeting, there has to be a very clear value of what that person is going to receive by talking with you. That means that you really have to understand your value propositions very, 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 very well. And of course, not forgetting that this contact is part of a cadence. So you're trying to connect with the decision maker through the personal assistant, social media, emails, video messages, and so on. Right. Okay. Kylie,
my turn now, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's go. So I absolutely agree with Helga in terms of, you really need to look at different mechanisms to reach them. I love that you said social media, because one of the most successful ways that I've been able to reach people is you've got a client, right? And you know that they've got a need. You've heard about it on the grapevine. You may have seen it in the news, whatever it is, but you don't know them and you don't really know many people in their organization. So I use LinkedIn a lot. And I did this recently where I went in, I work in cybersecurity. So it's what we call the CISO, the Chief Information Security Officer, put in their name, saw who they were, then saw the mutual connections. So we had 5, reached out to those people. And this goes back to what I said earlier about the trust. And said, would you be willing to give me a warm recommendation or entree to that person? And they were like, absolutely. I had 2 of them was fighting over who was going to introduce me to this person that was the key decision maker. So I do like to use that social media quite strongly in that space, but I don't tend to find myself with the type of work I do probably going in at the other level. I do tend to go in at more at that C-suite level.
Rodrigo, hit us with your question.
Okay, perfect. The next question is how to handle price objections in a sales meeting.
Ooh, how to handle price objections
objections
in a sales meeting. Kylie, do you want to take it away?
Yeah, I like to socialize the price beforehand. So you may have heard of rough order of magnitude, ROM. So I like to do a bit of a ROM. So I've had a bit of a conversation. I've scoped out what the issue might be. There might have been an RFP, like request for proposal. And what I like to do is a bit of a pricing based on these are some options here, rough order of magnitude, what we call plus or minus 50%. Then I might get to plus or minus 20%. So I like it to be an ongoing conversation with them. So I don't tend to get to a situation where they're like, no, we don't like the price, because I actually like to have those conversations and those discussions as we go. And then it refines down to what we call a statement of work with the larger delivery pieces of work. So for me, very much, it's if there's a price objection, I will go and say to them, hey, I'll go back out to market and test that. Maybe we are too expensive in that space. I will absolutely listen to them, because I don't always know everything my competitors are pricing, but I do like to socialize it along the journey again, so that we're a trusted advisor with them.
Wow. I mean, I love that. I love that. You know, I've learned a couple of things there. Thanks, Kylie. Right, here we go. So when I'm thinking about price objections, I definitely believe that this is something that you start developing arguments for the customer to change what they're doing at the moment, right at the beginning of the conversation. So it's at discovery level. At discovery level, you've got to do a very efficient and effective job of identifying the value of your solution in your customer's context. That means that you not only understand what it is that your product or service does for them, but you understand the root causes of the problems that it's fixing, or the new opportunities that it's helping them to achieve. It means that you also understand the consequences of them not achieving those results and the benefits specific to that customer. So there is a very specific angle that I believe starts very, very early on. All right.
I love that. And I think knowing your value is so important, right? And the risk of, not doing it properly.
Absolutely.
Agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. Estêvão, hit us with your question.
Okay, second question. How do you set realistic sales goals, and what strategies do you use to track progress and stay accountable to those goals?
You go ahead, Kylie. Get us started.
Yeah, the sales goals have to be mapped to the market growth. I've been in many organizations where they have all these wonderful products, and I get a bit condescending and say widgets sometimes, products and widgets that they like to throw at people and say, hey, buy that. And I think what you have to do is look at the market growth, look at the market demand, look at the particular capabilities that you have or the products that you have, and map that to where the demand is. So I work in an ASX listed company, so we're quarterly reporting. So we obviously look at that quarterly, quite regularly. But we also have what we call half one and half two of the financial year. So at the end of half one, I like to do a bit of a review and say, do we still have the capabilities that people are buying? Should we actually stop doing some things and do more of others? Where should we be innovative? How do we meet that market demand? Because there's no point in me having widget X if nobody's buying widget X. So I like to review that regularly. So quarterly, and then once a year, overarching across the whole program. And we got some great music there.
I actually wanted to put that from the beginning.
Love it.
All right. I mean, I really love what you said, Kylie. It's so practical. I had something similar in my mind, not so straight, but I'll add by saying a couple of things. I really feel that as when you're trying to monitor your progress, use the conversations, if you're a manager, use the conversations that you have with your sales reps or vice versa to stress test your pipeline. Right? Your pipeline needs to be qualified. There's nothing worse than a pipeline that you keep constantly changing over the close dates. And there are specific strategies that you can do to stress test your pipeline. The second thing are the actual specific metrics that you pick to actually monitor. And there's really 4 really big ones, your ticket size, the conversion rate, the length of time that it takes you to close a deal. Oh, I'm coming up. Ah.
But I absolutely agree with you, Helga, right? We call it win rate or conversion rate. That's a key one there that I probably could have mentioned as well. If you're not winning at least 40-50% of the proposals that you're putting in, and in some cases it should be higher, then why are you actually doing it? Why put all that time and effort into it? And it might not actually get up and get sold.
And the fourth one is actually the volume of opportunities that you have. Bearing in mind that the volume of opportunities nowadays, we love the martini glass type of pipeline rather than the traditional pipeline, right? Hyper qualify people. Right.
I know.
Next question, Rodrigo. Yes.
I'm really curious to that question. So, if one warm leads that was interested previously in your product doesn't respond, what to do? Forget them?
Sorry, I'll just repeat that. If a warm lead that was interested previously in your product doesn't respond, what do? Do you forget them, Kylie?
Look, I think what happens is people often forget them, and then it's the ones that don't forget them that keep the sales opportunities or win the sales opportunities in the long term. So not everything is an instant overnight win. I think it's really important to evaluate it, but I would keep in contact with them. I would have coffee with them. I might send them articles or industry movements that might be of interest to them. So they might be, they've told me they're interested in latest in pen testing, and I might find the latest innovation in pen testing, and I might send that to them if that's what it was. So I just keep them on my radar. I don't hustle them. You can't win everybody, but I think you can't forget them either. And one of the biggest mistakes sales professionals do is they go, okay, well, I'll go to the next one. And then they forget them. And yet they're bubbling away there. They're still interested. They might not have the budget now. They might not have the approval now, but eventually they will. They will warm for a reason. So just make sure you qualify and don't put all your effort into them. Obviously expand your base, but I wouldn't forget them.
That's right. That's right. Okay, let me put my minute on. I love that, Kylie. So one of the hardest things I think salespeople have the problem with is knowing when to quit. And we talked about discovery already. Discovery is key, but there's one thing that I notice that many organizations fail to do very, very well and to do it constantly, and that is identifying, mapping, explaining, describing not only their ideal client, but their personas. And when you talk about personas and ideal clients, the quality of the information really matters. What do you know, quantitatively speaking, but also qualitatively speaking? What do you know about your ideal customer? Because if you are going to try and engage back with them saying, oh, you didn't reply to me, why, I would love to know, it's the value of why they should speak with you that's going to keep them reeling in. Okay, next question, Estêvão.
Okay, let's do it. The last one that I prepared for you. So, what excites you the most about the future of sales? And how do you see yourself continuing to grow and evolve in this ever-changing field?
Ooh, I love that. Kylie?
Look, I'm really lucky to be in an industry where it's always evolving, right? I work in cybersecurity. The attacks, the malicious actors, the cyber criminal behavior, it's increasing. The threat is getting worse and they're evolving, right? So the threat actors are evolving. So my clients are looking at how they defend against that, how they strengthen against that, how they protect against that. So the question for me is very much staying across the trends of what that cyber criminal behavior is, and then looking at the solutions. What can we do to mitigate that? What can we do to help defend? So it's probably an unusual question for me, from a sales perspective, but I have to evolve the capabilities that we have. I have to evolve the offerings that we have in line with the latest cyber criminal activity. And it's not going away. It's not an overnight solution, and they're really smart. And in terms of automation and things, we really have to step up and make sure that, we can evolve with them. But obviously against them, not with them, right?
Love that. Okay, my minute starts now. So I'm very excited about how the commercial engine will unify. I think it's going to be the biggest next thing. People understand, organizations understand that alignment between marketing, sales, and poor customer support never gets actually even added to that equation is at the moment. It's still failing. Customers, they want smoother, streamlined journeys. They want consistency on messaging that they hear from organizations and through the different channels that they use. That can only be achieved through a proper, creative, pioneering unification of the commercial engine. It's being done already. Gartner talks about it already. Companies like Smart Technologies, shout out to them, are actually doing it successfully. And of course, the ISP always keeps me fresh. Students always keep me fresh. So thank you for that question. So you guys have been amazing. Kylie, I think it's our turn to, your turn. You're going to get this job to fire back at them. All right, so I tell you what, Estêvão, you seem like a sociable guy, Tell us about maybe the importance, how do you feel about the importance of networking in sales?
Okay, perfect. That's a great question. So networking is crucial in sales. It allows you to establish relationships, nurture them with potential clients, and maybe even like industry peers and stakeholders. And I mean, networking is just wonderful. It allows you to create new opportunities for yourself, get your new referrals, lead generations, market insights as well. Because when you talk to other people that work in the same field that you do, you get a lot of information that maybe you were closed off. Maybe you didn't have access to it. And that helps you. That helps you to know to adapt your strategies, to connect with the client as you get connecting with other people, and effectively it can open doors, enables sales, and it helps you staying informed about the market trends, competitors, and customer needs.
Rodrigo, do you wanna tell us about email automation?
Of course. So the first step is defining your client persona. So you need to research the markets and know what your target client needs. So you must outreach to the people who are more interested in buying your product or service. So you need to define that personas and use email automation to contact as many as you can. And after that, some follow-ups. You will send a couple of emails, and some leads will get interested in your product, in your service, and you must use a CRM to contact them and to sell to them. But it's already a warm lead, so it's much more easier. So you must also to do a personalized email for each individual. So you must recollect info using AI. For example, you can set an automation to search for the website of the company and made a specific email to that specific website content. So you can get a most precise email, and you won't be the guy that is automating with the same templates everyone and can get the results.
And so actually this ends our conversation really nicely, because we've been talking about selling the destination and not the bridge. And Rodrigo, you hit it on a nail. Estêvão, you hit it on a nail. Kylie, you've been the most amazing guest I could have ever hoped for. Please,
that's lovely.
Come back again. It's so late for you. You're in Australia. Just one last note from me, which is to say, I really do feel that it's up to us to encourage, nurture, and listen to the young voices. They are our future. It's up to us to help them to achieve their dreams, to have a voice, and to have that voice listened to. We have been listening to you today, and to you guys out there, join us again soon. We're here for you, SalesTV Live. We love you. We'll see you soon. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Helga. Thanks, Estêvão. Thanks, Rodrigo.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much.